Hi, I'm Dr. Bertice Berry, and I want to tell you a story. So I had an appointment. It was going to take some time. The person who was doing it had to wait for some stuff from somebody else. He knew it was going to take some time. Oh, these are dirty. Anyway, um, he said, "Can I tell you a story?" Because he'd heard my stories. And I was like, "Yeah." And it was not somebody I knew. I'd met many, many years ago at a book signing, but then he's heard the stories. And so he was going to tell me a story. He said 60 years ago, almost 60 years ago to the day, the anniversary of voting rights is coming up. 60 years ago, my mother was at her house. She was with her two kids. He said, I wasn't born yet. And the NAACP came and knocked on the door. And they told her they wanted her to register to vote, to be one of the first people in town to register to vote. They knew she could read. She was reading announcements in church. They knew she could do everything to pass the test. And she said, well, I have two little kids and I don't have anybody to watch them during the day. My husband works. And so they said, well, we'll send a babysitter over. And he said, do you know what it took for my mother to trust her children in the care of somebody she didn't even know? But she knew how important voting was. And so they sent somebody over for her to babysit the kids. And she went to take the test to vote. Now, the test to vote was to be able to read a part of the Constitution and write a paragraph about it. That's what Black people had to do. He said my mother showed them. She had a 10th grade education and she read that paragraph. She read it better than the man who read it, who was there. She read it, she wrote her essay and read that essay back to him, and he could not deny her. And she got her voting rights card, and she was so proud of that. She went home, the kids were safe, everything was fine, and she was one of the first people to be able to vote, but she had to go through all of that to do it. He's telling me this story, and I'm thinking about the story my mother told of counting jelly beans. He said, my mother's still with us today. She's 83 years old. And if you ask her about it, she will tell you about it. But she also tells me to tell everybody that I meet to make sure they are registered to vote, because they don't have to read a paragraph and read a section of the Constitution and write a paragraph about it to be able to vote. It is your right to vote. Don't lose it. I sat there with tears in my eyes, full heart, and just this knowing that we're going to be okay, because everyday people who are simply signing me in have become these angels of stories that are important and valuable and valid to our past, our present, and our future. All that they went through, all that they did, requires a response from all of us who benefit from it. I love you.